have men reached their breaking point? Yes, I think men has definitely reached a breaking point, and something is terrible is going to happen. Now, I was having a pretty interesting conversation with my younger brother, and you know, because it was like the first day of school. It should be like the fourth day of school for everybody. So I was talking to my younger brother, right? And we were talking about how school on how how schools are in today's time, and I'll just explain to him about a little bit of my time in history. So I'm just moving some stuff because I had some stuff anyway. So I'm just gonna put that here for a second. All right, but yeah, right. And he mentioned to me how there are some kids there that don't have a father figure, or they don't have, or love is not given to them, and you can see yeah, and you can see the effects. And I'm like, and you can see the effects. He started to realize that over the years, and I think this all comes down to basically is how you're respected and how you're valued. If you're not respected at anywhere you put your values for, no matter if it's a job or at home, you know, it's only going to be a matter of time before they reach their breaking point. It's like, it's like pushing someone's buttons, right? You're pushing a button that is not meant to be pushed. And that's where everyone is is doing. And I'm like, dude, you gotta stop that, because it's like you keep playing around and you keep messing with the wrong kind of person. That wrong kind of person is gonna come in one day with the intentions to, and then that's really more on you at that point. You know, the best thing to do is simply mind your own business at that point. But what about situations at home? Now, I know not everything is always going to be an eye for an eye, but let me ask you guys a question. Is yelling and screaming is justified? No, I don't think arguing with anybody is always going to be the answer. Listen, everyone is going to argue, and they don't have to really tell you anything or why as well. Why is he not doing this? Why is he not listening to me? Why he's not doing this? I give him this. I give him that. You know what I mean? Life is more than just give, give, give. You can't just give, give, give and expect a good outcome. You know what I'm saying? You can't just demand respect. That's not how respect works. You want respect, you earn your respect. You gotta earn your trust. What you gotta earn trust, and you gotta earn respect. Think of it like this, right? When you meet somebody, everyone is neutral. You're basically put in a neutral zone. This could wave this could wave based on how you look, how you present yourself, and what you say, and how you set the tone of anything. If you know, I'm not the one to say, oh, just because someone may dress differently, you may never know based on their characters. You know what I'm saying? You can never really judge someone based on that as well. There's a lot more to it, but you really got to sit down and shut up and listen about it, and listen to what they really have to say. It's only when you start to notice their expression, like their eyes and their mouth and how they use their hands, is when you start to put everything together. Or if they start to use, or if they start to talk to you in a way that feels like a friendly conversation, even though you guys just met, like, no, that doesn't add on to me. That did happen though once. Like, I'm not gonna lie, I ran into a situation where some dude was trying to rob me. He did it in the most simplest way. I'm not gonna lie, he almost caught me good, but it took me a minute to realize, like, wait a second, I just met this guy. He asked me, it's because this is when at the time I was working at a security company, right? He asked me on how do I apply for a job, you know? And I'm sitting here like online with an application. Like, I'm sure there's plenty of security companies depending on that as well. And I told him, like, if you want, you can go sign up for a class. You go pay for a 8 to 16 hour class to get yourself and take a test to get yourself a certified security license. From there, It's just a matter of that as well. And then from there, that's all you really need to get a security job, a security license. But if you're, but that's all. But that's another topic. I don't want to go too deep in security guard lore. Not at this time, right? So there was this other factor as well that I could definitely come to this. I could come to this point in time. Yes, there are their breaking point, and it all comes down to the respect, the values, and everything in between. In today's time, in today's time, is either you're going to give that person the respect or not. That's just how it is. There's never going to be a middle ground. Like I said, you could buy all the things in the world. You could be nice to them. You could be nice to them, but let me tell you something. Telling someone to just be nice is the worst thing you could do for a human being. I promise you. That's basically just saying that, hey, literally, f you, screw you, and they're gonna take full advantage of you. One time, I was told once to be nice, and throughout a good chunk of my life, I was considered to be the nice guy. I've never realized just how much people took full advantage of me. But it's when I realized when I was about 18, 19 years old is when I realized that, yeah, being a nice guy never ends well for you. And then, when it's completely your fault, they will never empathize or sympathize with anything regard. No, they just gonna stick the middle finger because you're a man. It's like, what? I swear, there's so much more in life, and there's so much more things that not everyone knows about. And yet, they expect you to somehow be an adult right away, without actually explaining to them, teaching them, and how it's done. Unbelievable. And they're exhausted, they're tired, they're overworked, and I can see it. You know what I mean? Me and my coworker, right? We was having this conversation, and you know, he wanted to lead the company and he wanted to become a supervisor elsewhere. And I said, supervisors is not for me personally, in my opinion. Don't get me wrong, a couple dollars, maybe a couple extra dollars in my pay may be great and all, but I'm not about to sacrifice my happiness for none of that. I'm fine where I am. I could do the patrols. I could, do my regular job as normal. But what I'm not about to do is I'm not about to sit here with all these unnecessary paperwork and shit, and that as well. Like, don't get me wrong, like supervisor job is really easy, but it depends on where you're working at, and I don't want to put myself in that situation or environment, and I don't want to overpressure myself because someone isn't doing their job properly, even though I lack the communication to speak to them rather than that as well. I mean, it's always going to be a disciplinary authority. That's always going to how it's going to work when it comes down to getting the job done, getting the structure done. Otherwise, it's just not going to work out. Respect is not going to really be earned. Respect is not going to really be given that way. You know, you know. But for the most part, that's just how it is. You know, men's are at their breaking point, and we're getting closer and closer to the end of the year. It is September, so that's always a sign. I'm very, very, very grateful though that a lot more men are finally taking action and they're actually doing things. They're journaling, they're meditating, they're actually having plans, and it really puts a smile on my face knowing that men are finally waking up from this bullshit. They're waking up from capitalism, and they're waking up from the lifestyle that honestly drive them. To me, I feel like everything is falling apart in all direction, and you still have people believing the old system, the old manner, the old way, because they want to show that it worked for them. But let's be for real, they're not happy paying debt. They're not happy as well. And why would I want to go and get a degree for something that I never really asked for? And I think this is another topic I gotta really put into mind on on us on how to actually prepare yourself for college in the real world. I think no one doesn't ever talk about that. They will gaslight you so hard, and then they will constantly tell you about how college is great and all, but the expectation, the reality are a massive no no. But I've been on for a little too long. I'm gonna cut it here. But I guess I'll see you guys around. Yeah, I gotta figure out a pretty cool quote outro, but I'll still stick with the grind don't stop till it stops. But I'll probably think of something. I think I probably got something in my own journals that I probably had, but we'll have to wait and see. See you.